Content warning sells 1 million copies following the launch giveaway. Spooky influencer simulator. Spooky influencer simulator content warning has sold 1 million copies. And is that what this is? A spooky influencer simulator? I've heard of people playing this. I've heard of people playing this like on streams, just like out of nowhere, like it was the next Lethal Company or whatever. But I don't actually know anything about it other than it was like a massive hit with streaming and videos and stuff. Publisher Landfall Games shared the news on X and noted those sales are in addition to the 6.2 million downloads it amassed throughout its barnstorming launch campaign. For those who missed the memo, Content Warning initially launched for free on April 1st, 2024, and attracted over 200,000 concurrent players shortly after. Landfall explained that over 6.2 million people nabbed the title for free during that 24-hour promotional window, after which point Content Warning began retailing for $8. The company has pledged to continue supporting Content Warning with updates and fixes, but given the core development team comprises of just 5 people, has asked fans to be patient. It's been a real treat watching all of your videos, and we are so happy that we've managed to create something that makes people have fun together, wrote the dev team shortly after launch. Now the game has gone paid, it's available for $7.99 for those of you who didn't get it during the free promotion. For those of you who did, you get to keep the game forever. We know there are lots of bugs and server issues. We assure you that we are working on it. Content Warning is made by a very small team of devs, only 5 people, so fixes may take a little while. Excuse me, sorry. But we promise you we are doing our best to solve the issues. Dev team has asked players to keep reporting and highlighting bugs while it continues to add polish. Cool. Okay, so what exactly is this?
Say hi in the comments to Citrus Bird. We need to go into that ship, film cool stuff for our viewers, and then upload the video and make views, which make us money, to make more views and more money. So let's go. Hoorah! Alright, we've landed, we've touched down. So now we're gonna try finding something scary to get on film for you guys. Alright, so
Oh, I guess I wish listed it at some point.
Can you touch it? Yeah.
Ah.
I can't rush that. Oh, you jumped.
Oh, keep running, don't look back,
Okay. Okay.
We gotta move.
Hey, is that thing?
Run!
Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna get
Oh my god.
This looks kind of wild. Huh. I'll have to get some streamers together to play this or something. Because that looks really fun. It looks like a perfect streaming game too. That's cool. Like this was the news in brief. Content Warning sells 1 million. Yeah. It's not really new news. Here's some good news. Avalanche Studios to enter collective bargaining agreement with Swedish labor unions. CEO Stefania, I'm going to butcher the hell out of this, Haldorstetter? How do you pronounce this in English?
Haldersdottir.
Is that actually how you pronounce it?
Haldersdottir.
Haldersdottir? It is a widely used surname in Iceland and has a notable Icelandic politician named Kolbrun Halldórsdóttir. Halldórsdóttir? I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. Halldórsdóttir says it's important for us to approach the transition in the right way. Oh, I guess I can play the music again. Avalanche Studios Group, the developer of Just Cause 4, intends to enter a collective bargaining agreement with Swedish labor unions, Unionen and Engineers of Sweden. The agreement, which will apply to all staffers in Sweden, takes effect in Q2 of 2025. Avalanche Studios Group's CEO, Stefania Halldórsdóttir, I'm not pronouncing that right, said, "It's important for us to approach the transition in the right way. This is why we're not rushing the implementation of the CBA. We'll use the coming months to carry out the necessary work in a careful, structured, and non-disruptive manner, all while continuing the development of several new and existing games." The news comes 6 months after more than 100 Avalanche Studios employees unionized. So is it the whole studio then? To all staffers in Sweden. That's awesome. Good. More unions need to do that. Like, I know QA definitely gets... We end up with the brunt of the layoffs, but that doesn't mean that we're the only ones who need a union. Everybody else does too. Because even though we're statistically the ones to get hit the most, doesn't mean that it doesn't affect anyone else. Nobody deserves to be laid off like this. Nintendo is skipping Gamescom. Switch Maker will not show at this year's event, but promises to hold other events throughout Germany. Is Gamescom going to turn into the next E3 where it starts to... I don't know. Nintendo will not be showing at this year's Gamescom event. The company confirmed to German news site Games Wirtschaft, as spotted by Video Games Chronicle. Gamescom is a central event in... I guess it wouldn't hurt to check the original story. Gamescom is a central event in Nintendo's event calendar. A Nintendo of Europe representative told Games Wirtschaft. This year, however, after careful consideration, we decided against taking part in Cologne. Instead, players can try out the games for Nintendo Switch as part of other Germany-wide events. That statement is functionally identical to the one Nintendo of Europe released to explain why it was skipping Gamescom in 2022, with the lone exception that in 2022, the company said it would participate in numerous other events in Germany, naming a few of them in the process. One difference between the two absences is that Nintendo Switch is now 2 years later in its life cycle, with a successor system that had been expected this year now reportedly delayed until 2025. Nintendo's confirmed 2024 lineup of Switch games lacks anything likely to match the anticipation of last year's Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and currently revolves around Endless Ocean Luminous and remakes of the GameCube RPG Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door and the 3DS sequel Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon. Nintendo has also announced Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch, although that project was rebooted at least once, and the company has not provided an update on it in some years. So the reason they aren't participating in Gamescom could very likely just be that they don't really have anything significant to show, is my guess. It's like, why invest millions and millions of millions of dollars promoting stuff that it wouldn't make sense for them to if they don't really have a lot of new stuff to show, other than, yeah, right now there's really not anything going on. Although we do need to hear more about Metroid Prime 4, because I don't remember the last time we even heard anything about Metroid Prime 4. Speaking of which, I really need to play the Metroid Prime games. I played the first one, but I've never beaten it. I really should play through them. This is Tom Ivan over at VGC. But this is the original report. In a statement issued to German publication Gameswirtschaft, a spokesperson for the company said it would not be an exhibitor at this year's event. Asked for confirmation. Organizers have yet to announce the exhibitor list for the show, which is scheduled to take place in Cologne from August 21st to the 25th. Nintendo attended last year's Gamecom as an exhibitor. According to VGC sources, the company also used the event to show off tech demos for Switch 2 behind closed doors. Huh. Okay. VGC reported in February that Nintendo had internally delayed the launch of its next-gen console from this year to early 2025. One publishing source... What the fuck? One publishing source suggested the delay was so that it could prepare stronger first-party software for the console, while others have claimed the move was made to avoid potential hardware supply issues. Nintendo shut down online play for 3DS and Wii U this month, having already closed the eShops for both systems in March 2023. Players can still play games offline, according to Nintendo. It has also said that Pokemon Bank and Poke Transporter will retain online functionality, presumably since they're still used by players and use online connectivity as their central mechanic. It is still possible to download, update data, and re-download purchased software and DLC from the 3DS and Wii U eShops for the foreseeable future. I wonder if they opted out because they still aren't ready to show whatever the Switch 2 is. If that's even being worked on, but my guess is it probably is, because we keep seeing reports or hearing of reports that dev kits are being used, which they would be, but they would have been for the last year or two, if that was the case. Because usually developers will get dev kits a couple years in advance so that they have time to actually develop stuff on it, and learn it. But yeah. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth leads surge of new hits. Japan monthly charts. This isn't really a big story. This is just what's selling in Japan. God, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still in the top 10. Like everywhere. Oh, Rise of the Ronin sold pretty well. All three of these are on my playlist. I still want to play Princess Peach. I think I'm renting Rise of the Ronin next. And Dragon's Dogma 2. I should check out Unicorn Overlord too. That a lot of people were playing that, but oh yeah, I forgot. Mario vs. Donkey Kong came out at some point. Was that this year? Right? That was this year, right? Yeah, 2024. Yeah. Anyway. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was the biggest selling game at Japanese retail in March, shifting 310,596 units and leading a slew of new releases that took over the top 5 in the box games charts. Famitsu's latest data shared with GamesIndustry.biz shows that the second part of shows that the second part of Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII Remake saw the second biggest launch month ever in terms of physical sales for a PS5 game in Japan. It was beaten only by Final Fantasy XVI, which sold 336,000 units in June. Rebirth also sold almost triple the number of copies managed by the next best-selling game of the month, Nintendo's Christmas. I cannot talk today. Nintendo's Princess Peach Showtime, which debuted with 105,000 copies sold after 2 weeks. That's more than double the 49,000 that Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS sold at launch 19 years ago. Technically, Atlus's Unicorn Overlord was the second best-selling game of March with a combined 111,000 box units sold. The Switch version placed at number 5 with 62,000 copies sold, with the PS5 edition at number 9 with 34,220 units. And the PS4 game at number 22, 14,566. PS5 exclusive Rise of the Ronin took third place with 85,000 copies sold, followed by Capcom's Dragon's Dogma 2 at 78,000. This is the first time all of the top 5 best-selling titles have been new releases since October of 2021. Holy shit. Nintendo remained the biggest selling publisher with around 9.7 games sold. $9.7 games sold? Wait a second. Million? 9.7 million games sold, accounting for 44.3% of all sales last month. Final Fantasy VII Success secured second place for Square Enix with just shy of 2 million games sold, 8.8% of total. However, Square Enix beat Nintendo when it came to revenue, generating 3.1 billion yen, or $20.1 million at retail in March, compared to the Switch firm's $18.8 million. Square Enix accounted for exactly 25% of the month's retail revenues, meaning 1 yen out of every 4 was spent on its games, and ended Nintendo's 8-month streak at the top. The launch of Unicorn Overlord puts Atlas at number 3, making the publisher the only other company to generate more than 1 billion yen, or $7.1 million to be precise, at retail this month. 1.1 billion yen, or $7.1 million. Rise of the Ronin lifted Sony Interactive Entertainment's from number 8 to number 4 in the publisher revenue rankings. Dragon's Dogma propelled Capcom from number 11 to number 5. Switch remained the biggest selling format in terms of boxed games, with over 1 million units sold, accounting for 57.6% of the month's sales. PS5 was second at 653,000 boxed games shifted, accounting for 35.7%. Switch also dominated hardware sales, with its 3 models selling a combined 289,673 units. PS5's 2 models sold a combined 162,281 units, led by the disk drive version. Both saw a month-on-month increase in Switch's case by around 100,000 units. Dang. Switch sells really well in Japan. Crazy, crazy stuff. Anyway, not really much else to talk about there. Rockstar Games GTA Plus gets a cost increase. I didn't even know that existed. All right. Subscription service gets its first price hike 2 years after launching. Not a very long story. Rockstar Games subscription service for Grand Theft Auto Online has received a price hike. Membership is now listed as $7.99 monthly across PlayStation Store and Xbox. The Rockstar service previously cost users $5.99, so it's up by $2. Current subscribers will be charged the new monthly fee on June 11th. And that's that. There's really not anything else to say on that. This was an interesting story. I did read this over the weekend, I think. Actually, I already read this. I don't know if anyone watching is interested in this. Epic execs say IP holders don't care about Fortnite, but they really want its ecosystem. If anyone hanging out and lurking want me to read that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna move on because I already read this. But if you guys want to talk about it, then we can read it. I can read it again and we can chat about it. But oh, I do want to read this. UK video game and interactive entertainment sector valued at £7.82 billion. I almost said euros. Pounds in 2023. because I think this needs to be talked about considering all the layoffs that happen. UK video game and interactive entertainment sector was valued at 7.82 billion pounds, or roughly $9.76 billion in 2023. That's according to the annual Consumer Games Market Valuation Report from UK trade body Yuki, which explained that figure is an increase of 4.4% on the revised valuation of 7.49 billion pounds it slapped on the UK game industry in 2022. Yuki said that the latest valuation shows the UK video game market is on a strong path of growth in the face of headwinds that have disrupted the industry around the globe. This increase underlines the video games market's stability and resilience, as well as consumers' unrelenting appetite for games and games culture, it added. Yuki CEO Nick Poole claimed the report highlights the, quote, vitality of interactive entertainment in the UK, with overall game software sales increasing by 4.1% to £5.18 billion over the past year, driven largely by digital console and PC software sales. Combined game hardware sales, meanwhile, rose by 2.1% year-on-year to £2.22 billion. Console and VR hardware drove that upswing, with sales of PC hardware actually falling by 11% year-on-year. Poole said, quote, while celebrating this positive trajectory, we also acknowledge the current market correction affecting some of our member companies, resulting in unfortunate staff layoffs. As an industry, we remain committed to supporting our workforce and games businesses through these transitions, fostering a resilient ecosystem that prioritizes innovation and sustainability. Continues, the video game industry continues to evolve rapidly, presenting both challenges and opportunities. As we continue to see changing patterns of consumer behavior and how people buy and play games, these figures give us real confidence that games will continue to pioneer tomorrow's frontiers in entertainment, learning, and participation. Omdia senior analyst James McWhorter said the UK market grew and maintained an audience for, quote, high-value digital content, unquote, in 2023 across both established and emerging titles. He added that PlayStation 5 hardware sales appeared to hit their stride last year, while the Nintendo Switch also remained remarkably resilient thanks to its first-party software lineup. Visit the Yuki website for more on the 2023 UK Consumer Games Market Valuation Report. Can we actually see that? Yep. So here's the actual statistics and stuff, and pretty looking charts. That's all the stuff that was broken down here. So it continues to increase in the UK overall, yet we still continue to see layoffs. It's dumb. I think this is the same story pretty much. Yeah, this is breaking down the same data for GamesIndustry.biz by Marie Delisandri. Just talking about that 4.4% increase. It's going to go over the same information. Is this a feature? Oh, that's the microcast. And we did talk about this a little bit last week. Oh, this is the same story. We already read this and talked about it. Unless anyone wants to talk about it again after new information came out. Actually, I don't even think new info really came out. Alright, there is one more thing I wanted to read. I came across this. Oh, I already read that. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's look at this. Apple denies violating court order over alternative payments. I don't know if I read this. This was today. Okay. I did not read this yet. Oops. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna see if there's is there like a... We'll just do that for right now. Okay. Apple denies violating court order over alternative payments. Claims Epic wants court to, quote, micromanage Apple's business operations in a way that would increase Epic's profitability. This is James Batchelor, the editor-in-chief over at gamesindustry.biz. Apple has disputed Epic Games' claims that it is violating the court order from the 2021 antitrust trial between the two companies and has called on a federal judge to reject the Fortnite firm's request to hold Apple in contempt of court. In a filing to Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers, spotted by Reuters, the iOS firm insisted it takes the court's orders, quote, very seriously, unquote, and detailed the changes it has made since both Apple and Epic's appeals against the 2021 ruling were rejected in January. Judge Rogers oversaw the trial and made the ruling in question. Epic called for Apple to be held in contempt last month, claiming that the alternative payment links now allowed on iOS are, quote, commercially unusable and, quote, entirely useless. In what way, exactly? In its filing, Epic said these addition... Oh, hold on. Apple was ordered to enable links to transactions that do not involve iOS's processing process, which entitles Apple to a 30% commission. While Apple has enabled all third-party apps sold in the U.S. include external payment links as ordered, it has said it will claim a 27% commission on any proceeds generated through these methods. The company also said developers must apply for an entitlement before they can include such links, and that these links may not be displayed more than once in the app or on the App Store page. In its filing... Okay, so this is the actual filing. Well, Bloomberg actually showed the filing, I think, but it's probably paywalled. It is not paywalled. Apple's new scheme... Hold on. Apple followed through with that, but Epic said in a court filing Wednesday, this would have been back in March, that the technology giant made the links commercially unusable by imposing various fees and rules. Epic said in a court filing Wednesday that Apple should be ordered to fully comply. Apple's new scheme so pervasively taxes, regulates, restricts, and burdens in-app links directing users to alternative purchasing mechanisms on a developer's website. Epic's lawyers wrote in the filing, and it makes them entirely useless, they said. Epic also argued that Apple is barring developers from using external links that resemble a button and is stopping them making written statements about purchasing items on the web instead of Apple's App Store. In addition, Epic claims that Apple's guidelines still include language preventing apps that operate across multiple platforms from encouraging users to use other purchasing options. Apple's goal is clear: to prevent purchasing alternatives from constraining the super competitive fees it collects on purchases of digital goods and services. And about a month later, we're here. Where Apple is disputing that claim now. Epic called for Apple to be held in contempt last month, claiming that the alternative payment links on iOS are commercially unusable and entirely useless. In the 2021 trial, Epic won on only one of 10 counts that Apple should be prohibited from banning links to direct and alternative payment systems, forcing developers to use iOS's built-in system that entitles Apple to 30% of all transactions. Apple has enabled this since the rejection of its appeal, but developers must apply for an entitlement before they can include these links. They are limited to displaying links once in the app and once in the app on the App Store page, and Apple will claim 27% of any revenue from purchases made through these links. The iOS offered more details on this new commission, saying the great majority, an estimated 84% of developers of all App Store transactions will remain free and incur no commission at all. Over 90% of developers that qualify for Apple's small business program, plus developers offering subscriptions through their apps, will pay a 12% commission on digital purchases that take place on the developer's website within 7 days after a user taps through an external purchase link. The 27% will apply to all other developers. Apple also claims the entitlement system has been built to ensure users enjoy a safe and secure iOS experience. The filing continued. Epic, in contrast, is not seeking to enforce the extant injunction. Rather, its complaints about the new framework ask this court to micromanage Apple's business operations in a way that would increase Epic's profitability. But the financial interests of one developer should not override the interests of other developers or users, nor the interest of Apple in maintaining a safe, secure, and efficient ecosystem. The iOS further claims that Epic's motion is its latest attempt to gain access to the iOS platform and user base for free, noting that Epic has not suggested an alternative amount that Apple should be allowed to charge developers for use of and access to its tools and technologies. Epic is not the only company fighting Apple on this. Shortly after the Fortnite firm filed its request, 3 major tech firms, Microsoft, Meta, and X, Twitter, plus dating service Match, jointly filed their support for Epic's request. Wait, what? This was back in March? Okay, so this hasn't even really moved forward. Apple is just contesting it. Is that what's happening? Whatever. I guess we'll see where this goes. I don't really have anything else to say on that, unless someone else does. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's the microcast. Which, did I even add that to my playlist? I'll have to look for the episode. And then this is a big GDC 2024. The Glow Up Games co-founder explained how funding is a structural issue impacting the labor market. This is a long feature that I intend to read. But there is one more thing that I would like to look at. I saw Dr. Cowart share this on LinkedIn. There's a research article, ACM Journals, Games Research and Practice just accepted from avoidance to action, a call for open dialogue on hate, harassment, and extremism in the gaming industry. Oh, do we not have access to the full study? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm probably going to end up reading this. But yeah, it's totally free. You can find it here. She shared it on... she's one of the authors of it. But the abstract is Over the last decades, digital games have become increasingly important for social connection and community building. However, the features that make games fantastic spaces for social connection also harbor toxicity, including hate, harassment, and the propagation of extremist ideologies. Despite the growing prevalence of these issues, there has been a lack of public-facing efforts from the gaming industry to address these concerns. One roadblock in particular has been the challenge of initiating open dialogue about these topics. In this study, we conducted focus groups with professionals across the game industry to facilitate discussions about the solutions and barriers they see in addressing the challenges associated with hate, harassment, and extremist ideologies in gaming spaces. Several barriers were identified, as well as actionable solutions for the industry's future. Comments should be relevant to the contents of this article. Sign-in required. Yeah, so this was just posted a couple of days ago. On Friday? When was the 13th? Saturday? That might have been Saturday. That was Saturday. But yeah, the PDF is 18 pages. It is a full-on study. Oh, is this the study that Take This has been working on? Elizabeth D. Kilmer. I think it is. Holy shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna read this. I don't know how much is going to be over my head, but yeah, if you want to read the study, it's there. It's 18 pages. It's very long. But I think it's an important read. Yeah, I'm excited to read that. But for sure, I am going to... Oh, did I already mark this off? Check off. Add this. I will read that either tomorrow morning or later tonight. I don't know. Either way. Okay, I think that's enough news reading for today. We started a little bit late, so normally I would read for like an hour, read some news for like an hour or something, but we'll cut off there just because the other two are a microcast and there's other stuff, but most of these are like really long features, so I'll read those on my own. But yeah. All right. We are going to take a short break. Whoops. We're going to take a short break. And we are going to switch to Tetra Tactics. We're going to check that game out. All right. We'll be back in a few. And then we'll check out the game. All right. Don't go anywhere.